One frequent question that CAT aspirants ask me very regularly is how do we claim our work experience? Now, WorkEx is an important part of your entire CAT preparation journey because your shortlisting as well as your final admission, the chances gets increased. Now, work experience is a very important part of your entire CAT journey. If you have work experience points, the shortlisting and the final selection become easy because every MBA college pays a certain weightage to the work experience. Now, weightage may obviously differ from one IIM to another, from one MBA college to another, but yes, every single college gives certain weightage to work experience. And hence, it becomes critically important that you not only claim the work that you have rightfully done, but also have proper documentation so as to avoid any repercussion in the form of the college not allowing you to claim WorkEx or even rejection of your candidature. So we decided to do a comprehensive video going through all the guidelines shared by all the IIMs regarding what do they expect when they ask you to furnish work experience documents. Now, to start with, the CAT, the official website of CAT, does not really specify what documents are sufficient or are necessary to prove your WorkEx. And hence, there is a lot of rumors, lot of misunderstanding regarding what documents can we really have to claim WorkEx. Now, in order to understand it, let's divide any kind of work experience in two categories. One, when you're employed in an organization, and second, when you're doing something of your own or are employed as a freelancer at some organization. In both these cases, the documentary requirement of your work experience will significantly differ. In the first case, where you are employed with some organization, there are two primary proofs that you will need. First is a experience certificate from the state organization on their letterhead with seal and sign. And the experience letter must clearly state the fact that you have worked in that organization as a full-time employee. Second, the fact that you have joined that organization on a certain date, and if you have already left the organization, then the relieving date of or the end date of your employment. Now, obviously, if you have been working at the organization at the time of filing the CAT application or why you are appearing for the interview, then it is okay to not have the relieving date on your experience letter. But the three other details, that is the role that you were working at, the full-time nature of your employment, and the starting date of your employment must necessarily be there on your experience certificate. Second is the salary slip that you have obtained. Now, every employer, when they pay you a certain salary, they will always give you a salary slip. The salary slip contains the breakup of your salary, the gross amount, the total amount, and the deduction that have been made. There may have been a account that they may have opened, the tax deduction, or other HRA and other allowances that it may have paid to you. So that salary slip also becomes important. Now, what if you do not have salary slips? Some colleges definitely allow for an alternative, and that is the proof that the salary has hit your bank account by showing the bank account statements. Now, these two documents, the experience letter and the salary slips, are critically important, and for most MBA colleges and IIMs, these are sufficient documents. But make sure that both of these are on the letterhead of the company and are sealed and signed by the company. Obviously, the pay slip may not be on the letterhead, but must be officially signed and sealed by the company. Now, some colleges additionally may also ask you for the offer letter that you initially received when you accepted the job. And some colleges may even go ahead and request for a bank statement. The bank statement will contain the details of the salary hitting your bank account that may be asked from by certain IIMs, or if they consider that there is something fishy going on and if they find reasons to doubt your work experience. So they have the liberty to ask for further documentation, and bank statement then becomes important. However, for most cases, the bank statements are not needed. An experience certificate and a salary slip are sufficient document. Now moving on to the second branch, where you have been working in your own organization where you have registered something, or you have been working as a freelance. In all of this, you are an independent contractor or a self-employed person. Now, this is where it becomes really tricky because none of the IIMs have really specified exactly what are the documentary requirements for this kind of stuff. The first documentary requirement will obviously be the fact that you have been working. So, any registration certificate if you have. So the registration certificate can be in the nature of a Udyam certificate, the proof of registration of a company, or LLP or a partnership firm, and the fact that you are a promoter, a director, or a partner in those firms. Second is any kind of tax proof. Have you filed any ITR previously or an ITR of this year? And the GST registration form. If you have any of this, an ITR will definitely be a very good advantage. Thirdly, it if you've been working as a freelancer, you may get an experience certificate from the organization you've been working as a freelancer, but it must mention that you've been working for them in a full-time capacity. Secondly, it may also need the IIMs may also need the invoices that you have raised for that agency or for that company, and the fact that you have received the payment. Now things get exceedingly tricky when you claim that you have been receiving your salary in cash, because the moment you mention it, all the MBA colleges, even the IIMs, are bound to get suspicious. And if they get suspicious, they have the liberty to ask you for any documentation that they deem necessary. And if they are not only proven to be false, but if they find that there are no ways to substantiate what you are claiming, then they may even go ahead and reject your candidature. So if you've been receiving your salary in cash, it is better to verify that whether or not these documents are acceptable or not. I'll again capture everything that I have said so far with respect to the self-employment part. The fact that you have registered as a business, either an Udyam certificate or the fact of registration of your entity. Second, any kind of tax proof. Your ITR will help, and so will your GST proof. Thirdly, any documentation that can prove the fact of your business, the invoices that you have raised, and the money that has come to your bank account. Now, a lot of students come and ask that should we really fake our work experience? Can we fake it? How do we fake it? Now, my simple answer is not only is faking your work experience unethical, but it also puts you in trouble during the interview stage. Now, the people who are taking your interviews are really smart. They can very easily understand even you've been faking your work experience, because they will ask you questions and you may not be able to defend everything because you have not really worked there. And in that case, no matter even if you have achieved that shortlist and you have achieved that work experience points, your interviewer will surely reject your candidature. Hence, it is extremely advisable that you not only not fake your work experience, but spend a lot of time getting those documents, understanding about those things when it is not really going to count. Now, there are still a few questions that remain. Will they really know it? Will they really catch me? I know certain someone who faked his work experience and is studying at a very good IIM. I am sure that all of such cases exist. There have been cases. There must have been people who may have slipped through the loophole. But are you really planning to take this risk? Is that risk worth taking? Consider this. Check any admission criteria and understand how much weightage do they give to WorkEx. There is definitely some weightage given to WorkEx, as I said at the starting of the video. But is it all that you need to crack that particular college? I definitely know it's not. Okay, so there will always be other ways in which you can increase your score, and that is one way is by getting the higher percentile. So if right now you're worried about faking your work experience, then please do not worry and use that time judiciously in studying. However, if you have really worked somewhere, get all the proofs that you can. And yes, remember that sometimes you may not have all the proofs, and in those cases you may have other proofs. You may have email exchanges, you may have uh, other transactions. Please show it to them. And if yours is a genuine case and if you have sufficient documentary evidence, the IIMs will definitely consider it. But remember, experience certificate, salary slip, and bank account statements, if they have, you are good to go as far as your work experience is concerned. If not, then check out the other documents that are applicable. And if you have none of these, then you should really write to the CAT help desk, asking them specifically about the document that you can get, or the document that can be used as an alternative to proving your work experience. Remember this, I have not really known a single individual who has had a genuine work experience and was not able to claim it. So please do not worry if you have genuinely worked somewhere, but it's only for those. The IIMs are strict only for those because there have been cases where people have claimed fake work experience. So please do not try that and worry about it throughout the admission process. I do not think that the risk is worth taking. I hope you got a lot of clarity from this video. Should we quickly should we now quickly go to each IIM and understand what do they really ask for work experience? So let's go IIM by IIM. So IIM Ahmedabad asked for a work experience letter from the employer asking for the starting date of the employment and salary slip as proof of the duration of employment. So these are the two proofs that IIM Ahmedabad generally asks for. IIM Bangalore goes a step further. It says that it will need letter from each employer on the letterhead with start and end date and position held, plus a write-up of responsibilities for each role and PF number if available. It may also require the details of your contact details of your supervisor. So it requires three things: comprehensive letter, a PF account if it was there, if it was open, and a referee for each job. So if you have worked in multiple organizations, it may ask you for a supervisor that it may contact should it deem necessary. Then comes IIM Calcutta. IIM Calcutta again asks you for work experience letter from each employer you've worked in, which must state the joining and leaving date, the designation, and some description about the brief role. Plus, you are also required to furnish the pay slip, not of all the months, but of the first and the last month. All right. It also, IIM Calcutta is, by the way, the only college that also talks about the self-employed part of it. And it says that if you are self-employed, you must provide business registration document and tax proofs in lieu of payslips. Now we go to IIM Lucknow. IIM Lucknow, again same, experience letter, appointment letter, joining letter, and the first and the last salary slip. It says that bank statements may be required if pay slips are unavailable. So this is the doubt that we do not have the bank statement, our pay slips enough. So most IIM pay slips will bank statement is only needed if pay slips are not available. At least IIM Lucknow explicitly states it, and most IIMs follow it. IIM Codicode. IIM Codicode says that it will require original work experience certificate from all employers, and it must be shown during the interview. So you cannot just have a digital copy or a photocopy, right? But that's only something that it mentioned, and it mentioned that it may request, if it deems necessary, the salary slips. So you must have the pay slip along with the experience letter if you're planning to take an admission into IIM Codicode. For IIM Indore, it's the work experience letter which must have the dates of starting of the employment and date of employment, um, and the relevant payslip. For IIM Shillong, it must have the employer work experience certificate on letterhead stating the tenure and the role, plus joining relieving letter and the payslips to certify the work experience. For IIM Rohtak, it is the work experience certificate which must be self-attested. All right, and the first and the last payslip. So this is for IIM Rohtak. Now we go to IIM Ranchi. IIM Ranchi asks for joining letter, first two salary slips, and the last two salary slips, along with the relieving letter from the past employer. IIM Raipur asks for an appointment letter, a relieving experience letter, and the initial and the final payslip. IIM Trichy asks for again employer certificate, relieving letter, joining letter, first and last couple of salary slips. So first 2 months and last 2 months salary slip. Then IIM Udaipur, joining letter and first and last two salary slip and relieving letter to claim work experience document. If self-employed, again IIM Udaipur follows the same thing as IIM Calcutta and says that you have to provide business registration document and tax document if you are self-employed. For IIM Kashipur, it is work experience certificate with the joining and the relieving date plus first and last salary slip. All right, IIM Nagpur, experience and relieving letter, first and last 2 months salary slip. IIM Vishakhapatnam, again the same experience letter from the employer plus the last and the first 2 months of salary slip. So quite similar, right? Again, IIM Amritsar, letter for each employer, salary slip of the beginning and end of its employment. So IIM Bodh Gaya, joining letter, first and last two salary slip. IIM Sambalpur, pay slip of first and last couple of months along with experience certificate. The same for IIM Sirmoor, only the first month and the last month along with work experience letter. And IIM Jammu, appointment and relieving letter for each job supported by first and last two salary slip. So if you see, there is something common across all IIMs: a work experience letter and pay slip. The number of pay slip, do they need last 3 months, last 2 months, first 2 months, first 3 months, the first month and the last month differs. So it's always a great idea to have all of those salary slips and pay slips ready. If you do not have that, it may be a great idea to ask your employer now that you need your pay slip either for your CAT admission, or if you do not want to reveal that, maybe for your tax purposes. So this is it in today's video. I hope this was a comprehensive video, and I hope you got some insight into claiming your work if you have genuinely worked, please do claim your work experience in the CAT document. Thank you so much, and we'll keep meeting at the Rodha YouTube channel.